Alright, hey, this is Hans, the Ramen Raider, coming at you with another Instant Noodle Recipe Time, the show where I show you what to do with your instant noodles. Today I've got something from Malaysia. I'm going to do a little 3-day Malaysia tour for you. It's something by MyKuali. It's their Hokkien Prawn, which you've probably seen, but this one is the rice vermicelli. And yeah, we're also going to be starting something pretty cool today. Let me turn the volume down on this. Today is the first day I'm going to start doing like interviews with people, so you don't have to just hear me yammering. So yeah, today we've got Hunter from Kentucky. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How's everything going?
Pretty good. So, welcome. You're on the absolute first episode of the show.
I'm honored.
Cool.
I truly am.
Right on. So, why don't you tell everybody a little about yourself?
I'm 23 years old. I've been a long-time fan of your channel. I love noodles. Every kind I can get my hands on, the weirder the better, just like yourself.
Right on.
And that's pretty much it. I love to go hunting and fishing. I'm a bit of an outdoorsman.
Cool. And you do all the hot and spicy action, too.
Oh, yeah. I love the Samyangs. I love the spicier the better. You know how it is.
Yeah. So, you said you wanted to yammer about the opioid epidemic and everything. So, I'll let you take off with that. And, yeah, what do you think?
So, the opioid crisis is something that affects me personally, and it's a huge part of my life right now. Not because of addiction or anything, but because of prescriptions like most of the other people that are considered to be part of the crisis.
Okay.
And I just lost my doctor, which a lot of people are, and there's no fallback net for people like me. So you're left without prescriptions that you've been on for 4 years at high doses, and you go straight to nothing.
Ouch.
Yeah, no winning, no nothing. You got to pay yourself to get into rehab. Most insurances don't want to cover it, and it's ridiculously expensive.
Wow.
So what most people don't understand is that it's not because of drug addicts that are going around and causing trouble and dying, which, yes, that's a part of it, but a very minuscule part. The big part is mostly patients like me who get dropped and have nowhere to fall to.
Oof.
And we're left without medication. It's like, well, you can go through the withdrawals and suffer through it, which could take anywhere from a couple weeks to months. And even then, you're never fully out of the woods because you always have that pain, the issue that was being treated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they're probably people like, oh, you'll have to go through withdrawals. It's like, you'll have to go through withdrawals and then being in, like, excruciating pain at the same time, right? I mean, that's crappy. Dude.
Yeah, and then after relying on it for so long, you don't know how to live without it because that was the one thing that gave you some normality.
Right.
Because there's people like me, it's extremely difficult and excruciating to function without it.
Right.
And so you can go through the withdrawals, or you can do what part of the opioid epidemic is about, and it's patients who they know where they can get it or know someone who does, and they go and get it off the streets, and that's why people are dying and dropping like that.
Right, because there's a lot of stuff that's like not legit, and they're just doing the self-prescribing and
to get your, especially out of a pharmacy setting, it's extremely difficult to find anything that is what they say it is, that's not mixed with fentanyl or other particulates.
That stuff sounds crazy. I've had like a tooth pulled and they give me, what do you call it, like hydrocodone or
yeah,
what do they call it?
Oxycodone.
They just call it Norco. I know there's like every single drug has like 50 million names, but
yeah, most of that's based off of the manufacturer, where they make it and what name they want a patent for it.
Right.
But I've personally been on fentanyl. I was on very high doses of fentanyl. My doctor actually, I started out on codeine on a fairly small dose, a little bit of a larger dose than most. And we went directly from that after about a year or two, then it stopped working. We went directly to fentanyl at about 112 micrograms over a 3-day period on the gel patches.
Wow.
And it was a ridiculous jump. And I see why it's as addicting as it is and as dangerous as it is, because when I first put on the first patch, I was out for 3 days, literally unable to wake up.
It's like elephant tranquilizer or something.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, the next thing up from that, that's the highest you can go until you go up to carfentanil, which is what they use to put out rhinos and elephants.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
It's ridiculous. And I got to the point where I was on such a high dose, there was no other place to go to except down.
So would it be too much to ask to share why you need to take these things, why you have pain? Or, I mean, you don't have to, man, but...
Oh, I'm all for it, because what I have is actually something that's not very well known.
Okay.
It's one of those conditions that people don't like to talk about, that it's not very well known, and even medical doctors don't know very much about it because it's so rare. And especially the form that I have is extremely rare, because I have not one but two of the same type. And I have severe ulcerative colitis. I got diagnosed at 15, which is usually when it rears its ugly head. And it's a chronic illness. And so they started me off on salicylate drugs like, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it right now. It starts with an A. Azicol, or Acicol.
I never even heard of that one.
And it helps reduce the inflammation because it's an inflammation-based disease.
Okay.
Of the large intestine. And then you have, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, inflammation of the large intestine, and it's chronic, and so they started me on all these drugs, and I was doing the biologics, which is where you get infusions that kind of alter your DNA a little bit to help fight the disease better. And I was failing medical therapy. Nothing was working.
Or more like medical therapy was failing you.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that doctor said, well, there's nothing more that I can do with what I have, and I'm retiring, so I'm going to have to drop you as a patient, but I'm going to help you get in somewhere else. And those doctors are golden.
Yeah.
Those are the doctors that I love to go to, because they are not going to leave you in the dirt with nowhere to turn. They'll help you get somewhere to where you're safe.
Right.
So I went to a new doctor. He wanted to try a lot of the same things, and he ran through the list of medications we could try, and I'm like, done it. And he came across something new, and I tried it, and it was the Humira pen, which they use for multiple sclerosis. And a lot of drugs that work for MS also work for ulcerative colitis. But I failed that one too, and it also messed up my back. My spine and my femurs are completely hollow like a bird's wings because the medications that I was on top of the steroids that I was on at high doses for 2 years straight.
Wow.
Which you're not supposed to do because it eats away the bone. Or the matter within the bone, the marrow.
So do you have to get like a bone marrow transplant eventually, or have you, or?
Well, it depletes the bone density. I don't think it's more so the marrow as much as it is the density of the bone.
Okay.
And I went to a doctor because I was having really bad back and femur pain, and they did the testings and everything, bone density tests. They came back and they said, this is the worst case that I've seen in all of Kentucky in every patient that I've had.
Wow.
It's like, what happened to you? And I was like, well, I have this autoimmune disease. They were like, were you on steroids? Or do you take steroids? I'm like, are we talking legal or illegal? She's like, either or. I was like, not illegal, but I was prescribed a large dose of steroids through my doctor. And I was on those for about 2 years, nonstop. And she just looked at me in absolute aberration, like just straight horrific look. She was horrified by it. She's like, why would they do that? She's like, that's what did this to you.
Wow.
And so I was like, now not only do I have this disease, but I have this disease as well now. So I have severe osteoporosis, and that makes the pain worse as well.
God.
And then shortly after that, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, as well as the severe osteoporosis and severe ulcerative colitis.
Wow.
And the only difference between the Crohn's and the ulcerative colitis is one is in the large intestine, and then Crohn's is in the small intestine. And when I was 16, I had my large intestine completely taken out because it was dead, essentially.
Jeez.
And I was failing medical therapy. And then we tried a bunch of other things, and surely enough, by the end of it, I ran out of every medication possible that we could try. None of it worked.
Right.
My body was just, it was not responding to treatment. So I was like, well, what do I do? I was like, I can't sit here and do nothing. It's like, because I was in bedridden. I couldn't leave. I couldn't go on family vacations. I couldn't go out to eat.
All right, you got no quality of life at that point. I mean, geez.
I mean, there were times where it got bad to the point it was almost worth giving up.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't,
so,
man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult thing to go through. And since not many people know about the disease, you can't talk to anybody about it because they don't know about it.
Right.
And they think, oh, it's just a little bit of diarrhea and stomach pain. It's like, it's okay, you'll get better. Eat some bananas, do the broth diet. It's like, that doesn't work for me. It's an autoimmune issue. It's in my genes.
Wow.
My body fights against myself as an autoimmune response. It sees every bacteria as bad bacteria, so it fights everything it sees.
That's rough. God, man.
It's ridiculous. And so I got to a new doctor, and after about 3 doctors that went through me and couldn't do anything more for me, so to speak, is what they said, I came to my past doctor, and he was like, well, I'm not going to bother going through the ones you've already been on because we know they don't work.
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to put you through that again. Because it's tough going in once a week, getting an infusion for 4 hours, coming home and being worked with. Because it hurts.
I bet.
And then doing the soap injections when you're terrified of needles as it is. And so he was like, well, why don't we just try to manage the symptoms in the meantime till something comes out that we can try? And I was like, at this point, I'm grasping at straws. I'll do whatever you need me to do. So he put me on codeine, and we started out at 15 milligrams, and then we went to 30, and then from 30 we went to fentanyl.
Wow.
Which is basically starting at the smallest end of the scale and going directly to the end of it.
Yeah, that's jumping. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're skipping everything in the middle. You're just like, we'll drop an atom bomb on your pain. Which is basically what it did. I mean, I wasn't in pain, but I still had no quality of life because I was on the couch and I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, couldn't talk. And when you woke up, it was like a lucid dream. You'd wake up talking to people that weren't there because you were stoned out of your mind.
Wow.
And then I did go through a period where I was like physically dependent on the medication. Which most people, they're like, oh, that's just another word for addiction. And it's like, no, it's literally different because addiction is where you crave the high.
Right.
You're addicted to the feeling of the medication, whereas physical dependency is where the body relies on the medication to function properly. And I never once abused the medication.
Right.
But yet I still got a form of addiction, if that's what you would want to call it. Because you're addicted to it, but only by the body, not because you're chasing the high.
Now, what about, I mean, and these are all opioids, right?
Yes, opioids and opiates.
So
opiates are all organic.
Right.
And they come directly from the plant, and they are synthesized. There's no man-made involvement or anything synthetic involved.
Okay.
But opioids are ones that are synthetically made, such as your oxycodone, which are a mix of organic and man-made. Your tramadol is an opioid.
Okay.
Fentanyl is an opioid. And usually opioids are stronger than opiates.
But they still have that addiction /
oh, yes.
physical dependency part of the It seems like if they can synthesize something, they could synthesize that out somehow. But, I mean, I'm no chemist, but...
Well, see, the thing is, no matter how hard they try, the reason why opiates and painkillers work is because they release dopamine and they release endorphins in the body that send out pain-relieving chemicals.
Hey, man, can we...
When you go out and burn yourself and then the pain goes away or lessens because of the release of the dopamine and endorphins.
Right.
Well, you can't really take that away because that's the mechanism by which the pills work.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's just your
your
system automatically just does that because that's how it responds to it.
That's exactly right. That's how the body responds to pain. And that's how the pills work. So if you take away that mechanism that releases the dopamine to help ease the pain, then you don't have a medication that's worthwhile taking because it won't do anything at all.
Hey man, can we follow up on this on the next episode?
Yes, sir. All
right. Well, hey, here is what I made. Wow, man, that's heavy. Jeez. You've been through the ringer. Here's some noodles.
I'm sorry to take it to a dark place. Somebody else can know.
It's like I'm cooking up noodles and just listening to the hell you've been through. Jeez. But we will continue with Hunter in Kentucky on the next episode. This has been Hans the Ramen Raider wishing you enjoyment of your noodles every day. Have a good one. Bye.